The hay is growing and it is looking great. You know what's not great? It's about 40 degrees, raw, rainy, windy. It absolutely does not feel like April right now. Then again, it's Pennsylvania, and April can be 80 degrees and humid and 25 degrees and snowing. I got a little bit of this first cutting here that's got to go out today, running a lot lower than I thought I was on this stuff. I just got back from Hilton Head Island down in the warm weather, so I'm kind of got spoiled for a week. Got to get back to work at some point. I do have another load of this hay coming Wednesday, so we'll be able to keep customers stocked. But people are calling me, you know, farmer, you go away for a week and people call you as soon as you get back. I know I'm gonna get some comments like, oh, you're a farmer, you can't take a vacation. Well, yeah, you kind of have to take vacations sometimes. You can't work every single day in your life all day long over and over and over again. You have to take a break. Everybody's vacations look different. You don't necessarily have to go to Hilton Head Island for a vacation, but the opportunity arose, so I took a vacation. Why is it raining? Go away, rain. Go away. I got hay on here. Go away. Update. It's really raining now. Like really raining. But we dropped the hay off. Days ago, we got all of our spraying done. However, it was actually a major fiasco at the beginning of it, and I'll explain quickly why. The day before spraying, I got the sprayer loaded up on the trailer, got the IBC tank on the truck full of water. We were ready to go. I was gonna do one quick run through of the sprayer, make sure everything was still working properly, and do a quick test to make sure I was putting out the proper amount of water. In the process of doing that, I found a leak. I was like, okay, I'm gonna fix this leak quick, put it back together, and we're gonna be ready to go for the next morning. I tried to fix a leak with some Teflon tape on some threads. Turns out it wasn't that. It was a major crack in one of the T-Jet section control handles, and I wasn't going to go and buy a new one because they're $50, and that's not my sprayer. I was just borrowing it. So I tried to fix it with glue. I put a bead of super glue down and then some shoe goo, and I let it cure overnight. Now here's where the problem occurred. I thought I was going to be able to do that quick fix right then and there in 10-15 minutes, put it back together and continue on my way, load the sprayer up and have it ready to go. However, I had tested the sprayer, found the leak, took the section control handle off, and realized I had to let the glue cure overnight if I was gonna make this a proper temporary fix. Since I did that, there was still water in the sprayer. Now you may be thinking, that's not a big deal, it's April, right? In typical Pennsylvania fashion, it got down to 26 degrees for a few hours that night, and everything in the sprayer froze. So I woke up the other morning, prepared to put the T-Jet handle back on and be on my merry way and go spray. Well, I spent the entire morning de-thawing the sprayer because it did not get above freezing till about 10 or 11 o'clock. And I was like, this is just wonderful. I used a torch and I used a lot of hot water to thaw out every part of the sprayer. The one thing I did do is I did the night before put some antifreeze in the tank and run it down through the screen because that's the only place I could put antifreeze where it would actually get to. So that didn't freeze, but everything else in the boom, the pump, it all froze. I had to spend a lot of time de-thawing it. Long story short, however, the T-Jet handle glue fix did work and we were able to spray all of our 15 or so acres that needed to be sprayed. I wanted to get started really early that morning so that I could definitely get everything done. But once that frozen fiasco happened, I was like, shoot, I'm only gonna get my one farm done just down the road. But managed to get everything done the other day. And we ended in a beautiful sunset, and that's done. That makes me feel really good. The reason I was scrambling to get everything done, though, is because of this nasty weather. For the last 2 days and tomorrow yet, it's supposed to be about 40, 45 degrees during the day. Cold, rainy, breezy, raw, absolutely nasty out. So I'm draining out the IBC tank quick. We're gonna get it off with the loader and we're just gonna put it somewhere over there because I got a quick load of hay to do here today. So might as well make the entire truck wet and then put hay on it. Smart, Jake. It is actually warm out today. Thought I'd do a quick update on a few things. We got some hay going out today. It's warm, finally past all the nasty cold weather, I hope. Got a lot of good moisture in the ground from last week's rains, and now we got at least 2 weeks of really good warm weather. So hopefully in a month, we're mowing hay. We think we figured out this tractor here. So issue number one was it was overfilled with transmission fluid. Now, I had changed the transmission fluid in this tractor like 3 years ago, and I thought I had done everything by the books, and apparently I just put too much in, and I guess in the last couple years, I may have topped it off a little bit too much. Anyway, there's a sight glass down here right there, and it's a very dumb little sight glass. It's like you can't tell if it's empty or if it's full or what. You just can't tell. It should be like either a dipstick or a long tube so you actually know where the level's at. But anyway, I never really realized that there was plenty of fluid in this thing, and I would top it off every now and again thinking that it needed some fluid. Well, I was right. The leak was coming out of that little place in there, and in there is a little plastic plug with with a washer, some shims, and a snap ring, and there's no O-ring or any sort of sealant. And I guess with all of the excess fluid in there, it just pushed its way up through and was leaking. We think that someone was actually in there before in that plug and had put a ring of like silicone around to try to seal it, and just over the course of the last few years, that excess fluid that was in this thing just worked through the silicone. So we drained 6 gallons of fluid out of the rear end here. So part of that's on me, and that's just kind of a frustrating thing that I had to have a service guy come out here and help me figure out that there's just too much fluid. But also we figured out that whoever was in there last did not put the plug in right, and that's kind of why the excess fluid did push its way out of there. Anyway, drained the fluid, resealed the plug with some silicone. Hopefully this thing is ready to go with no more leaks. With that being said, I'm just gonna let it sit. We're letting the silicone dry out, and then we'll run the tractor here today or tomorrow. Do some work with it, let it set overnight, and hopefully there's no more leaks on it. On the bright side, I got a free 5-gallon bucket of fluid. Not really free, but it's used fluid that I can always put in the tractor, but shouldn't have been in the tractor anyway. So I guess you could call that $100 loss, because I have a 5-gallon extra bucket of fluid that I don't need because I have fluid down in the barn.